Hi guys, I'm Shmee, hello and welcome back to the channel where you join me for the first stop on the 2022 Where's Shmee Euro Tour. We're here in Brussels, Belgium, having driven over from London with my Lamborghini Huracan STO and the Ferrari GTC4 Lusso on our way towards Germany and onwards down to Italy to take both of these cars back home and collect another Shmee-mobile along the way. However, today we're going to be visiting a rather extraordinary secret supercar collection here in Brussels. We're going to be catching up with Loïc Deman to show us around the collection, including supercars, racing cars, motorbikes, and some fabulous memorabilia. And then I think we might be hopping on board a Ferrari F40 to go for a little run around the block here in Brussels as well. So let's head inside then and go and check it out. Up to this point, both of these Shmee-mobiles are serving their purposes on the trip perfectly. I was driving the STO all the way over from London, less uncomfortable than I expected, and the amount of attention this thing gets is absolutely bonkers, especially as we are arriving here in Brussels. Of course, the Lusso has been transporting all of the luggage, given the complete absence of any storage space to even think of in the Lamborghini, as will be the same problem once we've collected the SF90 and have the two Ferraris in Maranello in due course later on the adventure. But we're here, as I said, at Deman Brussels. We're going to be heading inside to go check out this rather crazy private and very special collection. As a dealership, they sell lots of different types of cars, lots of space, lots of different rooms, workshop, maintenance, but there's this extraordinary room we're going to head straight in now to go and visit. There are cool views, and then there's what we're about to see here. I am looking into a spectacular room as we come up the lift. Come and have a look inside here. What a wonderful presentation of a very mixed collection of cars, from the limited and rare Porsches to, there are some Vipers up there. We've got an unusual Peugeot Concept, the Donkervoort, some limited edition Ferraris, Astons, Mercedes, some race cars, and look at the memorabilia around the walls, the famous race suits worn by different F1 drivers, and I can tell you there's much more that we need to take a look at. Even the Ferrari Opus here, flanked by some motorbikes as well. This is exactly what I love about seeing a different collection, telling the story of its owner, in this case the different cars as well, the bikes and everything, and what's surrounding them. Look at this, the little 917 tucked down there as well. This is going to be, that's very unusual and probably needs a bit of an explanation. But this is a wonderful place to be. So let's be joined by Loïc then to take a proper look around at the cars here. We're joined now then by Loïc. Thank you so much for having us to visit your incredible display.
You're welcome. It's a pleasure to see you here. And it's a long time that I was thinking that you will come, and it's very nice to see you today.
Well, thank you so much. And I mean, you have, as I've just been saying, a complete mix of cars.
Yeah, it's true. It's quite a mix because it's moving quite a lot as well, because, okay, I'm professional, so I have to sell and buy. But unfortunately, today with the market is so high that I sold my biggest car was sold. So today I'm a little bit, it's a shame for me because I used to have CLK GTR, Enzo, F50, F40, big cars, and the market is so high that I had to sell it, sell them.
I don't blame you at all. It's amazing to see what's happening out there with the world at the moment in terms of these limited editions.
It's incredible. So, since some few months, the market is completely exploding. Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy.
But regardless, having a quick look around, if we can, just to talk about what you do have here, the line of Mercedes or Mercedes McLaren SLRs.
We have often Mercedes here because we used to be official Mercedes dealer for 25 years. So we decide with the family to stop Mercedes, the dealer, to be a dealer since 4 years, I think, something like this. And now we are doing, it's part of the company, we are doing exclusive cars. And this is what I do here at the garage.
For sure. So we've got an AMG GTS, followed by the two SLRs. Have you always been a big SLR fan?
Yeah, I love the shape of the car. The car is beautiful, but to say the truth, it's not so funny to drive. And that's why the market is not so, the car is not so expensive, I think, because it used to be around 500,000 and today you can find a good one for 250. So it's quite cheap today to buy this car.
Well, the interesting thing with the SLR it arrived at the time of the Enzo and the Carrera GT.
Exactly, at the same time. So it was the concurrence was Carrera GT, Enzo, and this car. And it was built, you know, McLaren and Mercedes, they built this car together. And it's the only one who's, okay, cheap, let's say it's not so cheap, but it's cheaper than what it was when it was new. When you see the Carrera GT today, the price is just incredible.
Yes, they have exploded.
They are completely exploded. you cannot find a Carrera GT on the, it's around 1 million now. Here in Europe, if you want a good Carrera GT.
And some of the prices in the US have gone to a different...
In US, if you have one US spec with no mileage, we had one record in auction around 2 million, I think. Or maybe more than 2 million.
Which is
so that's crazy.
I also notice you have a lot of famous racing suits.
Yeah, we are fan of Formula One, so we used to make the decoration of the showroom with race suit from Formula One drivers, and in the office we have all the helmets as well.
Wow.
Maybe you will see later on.
Quick look at that. I spot at the back. Stands out to me, the Heinz-Harald Frentzen suit, which matches the show car F1 I have at home, 97,
okay.
from Williams. That's cool. And Nico Rosberg, Schumacher, Benetton, lots of cool stuff. but talk to me about these, slightly more out of my element.
These racing cars, I used to drive them, all of them during the old-timers racing, like in the Masters. This one has a very nice history, because it's a Lola T70 and it's the chassis number 1, and it was drove by Jackie Stewart, and it was owned by the 30s team.
Wow.
So that car has a very nice history.
And you drive these?
Yes, I drove this car in Spa, and it's crazy because we used to have cars for straights, you know. It has to be very fast in straight lines because the circuits were not exactly the same that what we have today. They were, let's say, like the Nordschleife, 20 kilometers, 25 kilometers, but with long straight. The most important is to be fast in the straight lines. And this car, I drove it at Spa, and I made the crazy speed of 315 kilometers with that car. And today I realized that I was crazy because there is no security. The car is from 64. So if I had any problems with that car, I think I won't be there today.
I mean, 315 kilometers an hour, it's about 195 miles per hour in this.
Yeah, it's just crazy because there is no security. The engine is around 600 horsepower.
Wow.
It's amazing. Amazing car to drive. I had a lot of fun. But today I think it's not reasonable to drive this anymore.
Yeah.
So this one is a little bit younger. So it's from 76. It's Osella, so it's Italian prototype. With BMW engine. It's a 2-liter M12. I don't know how to say in English, but it was the engine from the Formula 2 in the 70s.
Wow. Okay.
So it's very powerful, the engine. So this one is Chevron B19. It's 1.8, the engine. It's a little bit older than the Osella. I think it's from 72. And it's a very nice car to drive, a lot of fun. As you can see, there is no spoiler aero, so it's very fast in the straight as well. Probably
terrifying to drive.
Yes. But when you see these old racing cars, it's quite fast, because when you see at Spa, this one I drove in 2 minutes 29, 2 minutes 24, and 2 minutes 31. So it's fast. It's fast. When you see the age of these cars, and they are as fast as let's say a GT3 or even faster than the car that you can drive on the street.
For sure. But then you go from race cars into a collection of bikes.
Yeah, that's the collection of my father. So he used to make collection of the motorbike that he drove when he was young. So it's only 50 cc engines.
Yeah.
And it's the motorbike that he used to drive when he was 16. That's why he made the collection only with Italians, little motorbikes.
Wow, that's cool. And then we move into some cars I know a little bit more about, the Vanquish S's, the Coupe and the Volante.
Yes, these two cars are from one of my best friends, and he loved the shape of this car, the V12, and they didn't build that car for long, so it started to be a little bit like a collector's. Because you cannot see them a lot. There is not so many cars for sale because they build some few of them.
Yeah, and the last of the 6-litre naturally aspirated V12 from Aston Martin.
Exactly.
And talking 6-litre naturally aspirated V12s, the Ferraris, the GTO and the SA Aperta.
Yeah. So I had the chance to buy these two cars. They have only some few kilometers. So the GTO has only 2,500 kilometers. So it's look like it's like new. And today the price of these cars in these few months it's just amazing. It jumps from I don't know, the average price was around 450, and today we are around 800, I think.
It's crazy. Like and that's before you get to the Aperta. Now, I actually drove an SA Aperta very recently, but seeing it alongside the GTO allows you to see the differences. And for those who don't know, officially only 80 of these were ever made with the GTO engine, the GTB style body, but with the removable roof. And yours is quite an unusual car.
Yes, it's true, because it has only 300 kilometers. So the car is brand new. And I love the spec of that car, because you can see some Apertas, but with very strange colors. Okay, the taste, the color and the taste are unique for it's personal things that you like or you don't. But for me, this one is just incredible, because it's full black with a little bit of yellow. For me, I think it's very nice.
Yes, they would often have the silver A-pillars and obviously silver wheels. So having it in the, I think, Nero Daytona with the black wheels is quite an unusual configuration. That's super rare, but so is this, the 550 Barchetta in TDF.
It's quite the same. The color is very rare. It's blue Tour de France. And I don't know how many they build in blue, but there is only some few of them in blue. And I love it. I love the Barchetta in blue. I'm not completely fan in red, but the blue on that car is just amazing for me. And it's the same as the two other ones. That car has only 700 kilometers. So like new as well.
Then moving onwards, this is quite special, but not many people would know what it is. Donkervoort.
Exactly. Yeah, Donkervoort. So it's built in Holland. It's just a little factory. I think they build only 30 or 35 cars a year.
And this is a D8 GTO RS?
Yes, it's RS, and it's the naked carbon. So it's a limited edition of 15 cars. And I bought it new at the factory some few years ago, just because I decided in 2015 and 17 to stop racing, because I was a racing driver during around 20 years. And I said that I had enough with racing. So I said that I will buy one car with who I can have a lot of fun.
Track day fun, because I can't remember, how much power is this?
That car is 410 horsepower. So when we say this, they say, well, no, it's not so incredible to have only 400. It's not crazy. But when you know the weight of that car, it's only 700 kilograms.
Yeah.
So this
power to weight.
700,000 kilo is like a smart, you know.
Yeah.
So if you make the balance between the power and the weight, it's just incredible.
Yeah, lovely thing.
Yeah, it's lovely thing
and then we go from the Donkervoort to the Peugeot Tulip, I think.
Yeah, it's Peugeot Tulip. It's a prototype that was never built at the end. So it's one prototype from '95. So as you maybe don't know, but the Smart was built at the beginning of '95, so it was like a concurrent of the Smart.
Okay.
And at the end, they wanted to make this little car electric to drive in the town, but at the end they didn't do it. Yeah. So I had the opportunity to buy this prototype. I said, okay, it's not a supercar, but it's so fun. It's not so expensive, so I said, okay, I will take it like a decoration.
Give it a go, and it sits between the Donkervoort and the small 917.
Yes, because unfortunately the original one is not possible to buy today for me, because I think if you want to buy the original racing car from Porsche, you will have to pay around 20 million.
Yes.
So this one is nice to have in the showroom, like a decoration as well.
For sure. And then two unusual cars over here.
I just bought these cars because in a few years they will be old-timers, and we can drive it here in Belgium without taxes. Okay. So that's, and I think it's one car that was, how to say, when I was young, I was dreaming about US cars, and the Viper was the most craziest car in the 90s.
Yeah, huge special engines, iconic looks.
Exactly.
Very distinct and very rare over here.
Yeah, it's very hard because they didn't sell a lot of these cars in Europe. That's why there is no Viper here in Europe. Yeah. And this one, there is a story about this one. It's 92, so it's the first year of production of the Dodge Viper, and they build only 280 cars, and it's one of the 280 first build, and it's 92. So this year it will have 30 years, and I will make it like old timer here in Belgium, and so there is no more taxes to pay, because if you want to make the registration today, the price is just crazy with the CO2 and things like this.
That's amazing to think that's a 30-year-old car.
Yeah, today, this year, it will be 30 years.
And then we go a little bit older.
Yeah, this one is a little bit older, it's much more old. It's a Porsche 356 Speedster Pre-A. So it's 55. Okay. It was built in 55. It's the first model of the Speedster.
Wow. But then, I've got to ask you about this.
This one is unique. There is only one in the world.
Yeah.
It was built in 2090 to make the 24 hours of Spa. So I had the chance to do 7 times the 24 hours of Spa. And my father and one friend make this crazy project to make like a Beetle, racing Beetle, for the 50 years of the Beetle. Okay. Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
So it's the basis of the 911?
Yeah, so it's a 991 GT3 Cup, but completely prepared by Monte. Monte Racing for the endurance racing. Okay. And then we put a body of the Beetle on it.
the distinct Herbie looking bonnet and the bumpers. It's such an unusual thing. That must have been a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was funny because the racing is so strict and serious. When you see that car racing with the other ones, that the public was. It was so fun for them to see one car like this
for sure.
on the grid.
It's so unusual. but then, I mean, talking unusual, the complete mix, right? Because you then have a 3-wheeler here, and not just any.
Yes, this one is special as well, because there is only one like this with that decoration, and maybe the French will recognize that motorbike because it was the motorbike of Johnny Hallyday.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you check on Google and put Harley Davidson 3 wheels Johnny Hallyday, you will find plenty of photos of that motorbike.
That's cool. And I mean, we talked about the 550 Barchetta, but 575 Superamerica.
Yeah, that one just arrived just after the Barchetta. So the difference between Barchetta and the Superamerica is that the gearbox is F1, so it's sequential, it's not manual. Barchetta was all of them manual, and the Superamerica, they build 559 cars, and I think 46 or 47 in manuals.
Okay.
So, and the manuals are the double of the price
For sure.
of the Superamerica with the automatic gearbox.
I always remember the stories with the folding roof that if it starts raining while you're driving, you get the water in here and then you fold it.
Then you have all the water inside.
But basically it's one piece that just kind of rotates.
Exactly. Yeah, it's very simple, but it was clever to find this solution.
Yeah, Ferrari have always done some quirky and unusual things over the years.
Unusual, but it was clever.
And then a trio of Porsches.
Exactly.
GT2 RS 997.
GT2 RS, for me, is one of the best GT2 RS ever built. It's the only one with manual gearbox, and yeah, I don't know why, but it's my favorite.
Was it one of 500, one of 600?
The horsepower?
No, the number of cars.
It's 500.
500, isn't it?
Yes,
Yeah.
limited edition of 500 cars. Yes.
Yeah, a lot of power. The nickname, the Widowmaker.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun because with the turbos is on off, and that's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's very funny to drive.
And then we move to a Speedster, 997 Speedster.
So something different. So they build only 356 cars, limited edition, and you could choose only white or blue.
Yeah.
And if you had connection with Porsche, you can ask for a different color, but there is only less than 40 cars who are not blue or white.
Yeah.
And this one is one of the 12 built in black.
Wow,
Yeah.
super rare.
Super rare, yeah. So only
Amazing.
12 in black.
And then 996.
6 GT2
Yeah.
with a beautiful color as well.
Yeah, lovely. And just, I don't know if everyone's noticed in the background, just we've got Button, we've got Grosjean. And the bikes, small bikes.
Yeah, the bikes, I love them. MV Agusta is one of my favorite. And I bought this one because Mercedes had part on the MV Agusta. That's why we can see AMG on the bike.
And this is the very special Ferrari Opus.
Exactly.
The book.
There is a book inside. I don't know how many they build, but it's limited edition as well.
Yeah, it was a special anniversary piece. Yeah, it's a really cool thing.
Yeah, so you can remove like this.
Beautifully presented. Wow. This is this is amazing.
That's a nice office.
Oh yes. Looking at all of the helmets, the different things that you have around.
Here we have a collection of a little bit of everything. So you have helmets. Most of them are signed by the drivers. Mm-hmm. Limited edition as well. Most of them are Bell.
Yeah. Wow.
So what
Ferrari luggage set.
Yes, from F12. This one is very special. Yeah. Here you have the race suit and the helmet of Steve McQueen in the film Le Mans.
Oh, no way.
Yes, the original ones. They built 6 of them, and it's one of the 6.
Wow.
That's really cool.
This is my kind of memorabilia. I can get lost in this world of different pieces and even more helmets and some steering wheels and.
Yeah, we can have a look over there.
This is an absolute kind of dream of different things. What are we looking at here?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Senna, Ayrton Senna, so I have all the car, the Formula One that he drove during his career.
Wow.
Yeah.
This isn't everything signed and
this is original steering wheels.
Mm-hmm.
It's from the Jordan. It was signed by Deman, so it's the steering wheel of Deman. Wow. There is quite a lot of things. I cannot explain everything.
No.
It would take too long. But some nice things that we have. The gloves is the glove of Jim Clark.
Oh, no way.
Yes.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yes, and that's the watch that Ayrton Senna had in 1993 when TAG was the sponsor of Ayrton Senna.
Wow. We're now in the workshop.
Yeah, exactly. It's the workshop. We have two of workshop here, but here is the old-timer workshop. So we are doing most of the cars that we have here is our own cars that we rebuild and then we sell them. And yeah, there is a mix of everything, as you can see.
Yeah.
And we have the chance to have one F40 today that I bought in Paris 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
And we can have a little test drive if you want.
I mean, it's such an iconic car, isn't it?
It's certainly one of my favorite cars that they ever built.
Spectacular.
And to drive.
I think it's pretty much most people's poster car, really.
Yes.
The F40. So we can take this out then for a quick little...
Yes, with pleasure. Let's have a test drive together.
Let's do it. All right. That sounds good.
Yes, of course. Not the original exhaust.
Step on board. The fabulous F40. That noise, everything about the noise, and hearing the sound of the gated manual. It's just... There's something about this car, isn't there?
Yeah, there is something special, and it's the feeling of the old turbos that you have nothing when you push the accelerator, the throttle, there is nothing, and then the turbo gives all the power at the same time. So that's crazy.
Unfortunately, in the city centre, we won't be able to experience a lot of that, and I'm sorry that it's now started to...
Yeah, it starts to rain. It's not
not ideal F40.
It's not a good idea to drive an F40 when it's raining.
I'm sorry.
And
it wasn't earlier,
well,
I promise.
If it's not raining a lot, it's okay.
Gosh, this feels really spectacular. Wow. It's just weight savings with no penalty for anything. The style of the dash, the carbon tub, it's simple. It's all about the car. The sound is just epic.
The sound is nice.
Wow. Glorious. I'd forgotten, you've obviously got the dog leg first gear.
The what?
You have to get used to the first gear being down to the left.
Yeah, like a racing car.
Yeah. And the burbles start. When the exhaust gets warm, there's nothing that crackles quite like the natural burning petrol sound of an F40. Amazing how small it feels. Like low to the ground.
Small car,
Compared
very
to
light.
Yeah, even with an Audi A3 in front, we're tiny. And that's not a big car. What a day.
Yeah, it's not the perfect day to do it.
The weather might not be perfect, but being in an F40 is.
Yeah, a little bit of rain like this with old tires, you have to be careful.
Yeah. The turbo feel. We are back at base then.
In one piece.
In one piece, despite the weather trying its best to be horrible. That was incredible. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. It was a pleasure for me to bring you in the F40 and to have a test drive for me. It was a pleasure as well.
For sure, I can imagine. Well, thank you. Wow. Back at the collection and again amazed by all of the cars, plus the way they're presented, the lighting, the reflections that you have off the tiles. And we're actually above ground here, so all of the cars have to come in through the lift, but such a mix of cars and so much memorabilia. We scratched on the surface, but we could spend hours talking through all of the different pieces that are on display. And that's what I love about visiting different car collections, always unique. And it's a huge thanks to Loïc for taking me out in the F40, but also for showing us around the cars to talk about his passion. I find it so inspiring what goes into it. And while it would have been great to have seen some of the legendary cars that were also here before, the likes of the CLK GTR, the Enzo, the F50, the other F40 that was here at the time, alas, I couldn't visit until now. We were talking a while back, but travel restrictions and everything rather put a hold on that. Nonetheless, some Ferraris, some Porsches, the Donkervoort next to the Peugeot Concept city car, next to the half-scale 917. You get that sense of variety. Really, really cool. So a big thanks again to Loïc. I'll pop all of the links down below if you'd like to find more and follow what happens in the future as well. But for today, that's been pretty awesome. I never expected to find a collection like this, a secret little corner of Brussels like this with a display of such amazing cars. So that's it for this time. Thank you very much for watching. As always, guys, I appreciate your support an awful lot, and I'll see you again next time on the Where's Shmee tour. Cheers.